going on, Menace Militia? It's me, Jonathan Thompson. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel for another episode of Market Menace Trading. All right, guys, there is so much going on right now. And I've been having a target for Bitcoin to target that annual support. I've been looking for it to make real connection with that. We've actually blown by that at this point, which isn't really all that uncommon, or isn't really all that unexpected considering what we've seen with this price interaction prior. There's a couple of things on the chart that indicate to me that there is potential for further downside here. And I'm going to go over those targets here in a minute. I'm in a trade currently. And I'll give you guys an update on the $500 challenge, account challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and get into that. So if you guys want some targets, if you guys want to see some live price action, some trading tips and tricks, please like and subscribe. Please become a part of the Menace Militia, man. Outstanding. All right, let's get right into it, guys. Not wasting any time today. All right, guys, I'm going to keep this as basic as possible. As I said before, I'll start zoomed out, way out on the chart, but then we'll go to the daily. Okay. A lot of very interesting things are going on this daily chart right now, particularly since we just broke this support. So things could get real interesting for Bitcoin really, really quick. So first things first, guys. Just to recap what we've done so far in the year, Bitcoin has, when it bottomed in, I believe it was late November at about 15,500, right around there. We've been putting in this ascending level of support ever since. So every time Bitcoin rallies off of it and comes back down, it has been supported. This is now the third touch of this. So it's kind of putting in what I would describe as an ascending head and shoulders. Now, it's tough for me to say that that's really what this is, because head and shoulders, excuse me, let me be very clear. It's difficult for me to say that this is a bearish pattern. Now, I will say that very often when you see this pattern on a smaller time frame, I mean, I see this pattern all the time. Very often, you will get a strong move to the downside in order to mitigate any kind of fair value gaps that may have occurred during the entire pattern. Okay, so if that happens, and I'm not saying that it will, but if it does, I'm going to make sure that you guys, as part of the Menace Militia, are prepared for something like that. Okay, so first thing. Let's start by finding the fair value gaps. So I obviously have these ones down here, okay, and they have been mitigated only, this is the only one that has been mitigated, and that happened in late June when we, after we topped at about 31,000, we pushed down to 24,000, which mitigated this fair value gap here. However, we still have this fair value gap to contend with here on the daily. And directly below it, we also have a fair value gap to the downside. This is an order block that I have highlighted down here, but I'll go ahead and get rid of that for now because I really want to focus on the fair value gaps, and I want to make sure you guys are able to see this. Let me go ahead and make this just a little bit darker so that everyone is able to see it. There we go. That should be better. I'll do the same with this one. Okay, there we go. So these are the areas that orders exist or existed that did not get a chance to get filled on the energetic move up. The one that was up here has already been filled, so that's done. I'm not really too terribly concerned about that. And actually, to be brutally honest, I'm not too terribly concerned about these either. However, I do think 23,000 would be a logical zone for Bitcoin to come back down to in the event if it had a really, really powerful dump. I would be eyeing that up, particularly if we took out the order block from early June. or mid-June, excuse me, at about 24,805. That's this daily candle right here, basically. So that's what I'd be looking for there. Go ahead and get rid of that. That's a potential target for right now. I'll get into that here in a moment. That is the bottom of a more relevant fair value gap that we are actually trading inside of right now. So Bitcoin did the exact same thing in late June that it did in March, when it created these two fair value gaps in early March. On this energetic move up, it did the exact same thing in early June here. Now, what we have, and this is going to be kind of tight, so I'm going to zoom right in on this. You have two giant fair value gaps, one of which has already been mitigated just as we did in June. That's gone, okay? But now we are about 50% of the way through this fair value gap, which is pretty normal. I actually would expect that if there is going to be an immediate bounce, it's going to happen at some point in this range right here. I'd say I'm expecting it to and if it doesn't fill the entire gap, let me say that. If it doesn't fill the entire gap all the way down to 27,065, if it does not fill that gap, I would expect support somewhere around 27,450, right around there. That is if it continues to move down a little bit. And I do kind of hope that it does, for personal reasons. I'm in a short right now, so because I'm not, even though I can see that we are below that trend line, or we are below or at that annual support, I'm not going to disagree or trade against the trend. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this real quick because I just entered this trade prior to starting the video. So I just want to take a look and see how that's doing real quick. I hope you guys don't mind. Okay. All right, so what I'm looking for now is any sort of strength, and that's going to come in all kinds of forms. So this right here, this swing low on the relative strength index, right? That when Bitcoin hit 15.54 on the RSI, that was actually all the way up here at 28,099, 28,100. The price has been continuing to push down. However, the relative strength index, at least on the 1 minute chart, is starting to improve. I see this all the time, this divergence. This usually leads to some sort of a very strong rally. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close my position, my short position, if it'll ever go through, which would be amazing. Let me know when you're done. No little ding ding. There it is. Okay, good. All right, so that's out. All right, so I think probably what's going to happen is we're going to get some sort of a push to the upside. So I'm going to start looking for, now that we've hit that support level, I'm going to start looking for long opportunities at this point. Yeah, that's almost assuredly going to get some moves. So let me go ahead and take a couple trades here. I'm looking for targets. I'm looking for some sort of a fair value gap that's easy to target. I mean, in here is going to be the entry. I'll put it right there at 27,834. 27, is that what I said? 834? Let me just double check that real quick. 27,835.9, just to make sure that we're there. And I will go ahead and open that long there. All right. So that's actually pretty decent continuation so far over the 21 exponent. I might not even get this order filled. Wow. Let me get rid of the giant fair value gap. We're inside of a major fair value gap right now, guys, but honestly, that's really difficult to look at. All right, so I'm anticipating a long entry here. I'm going to let the market come to me on the fair value gap, and I will put my stop loss here just below these order blocks here, assuming that gets filled. That is not going to get filled. All right, so I'm going to force it. which is going to also simultaneously, there we go, force me to have a larger stop loss. All right, so let's do close. I'm going to do a trigger here at 27,700. And I will set that stop loss. All kinds of lag happening here. All right, let's talk about a couple of targets here then. I can see that there's a small fair value. Honestly, like the fair value gaps are great. You know, I enjoy using them. However, in moments of real volatility, I actually prefer to stick closer to the order blocks. The order blocks tend to be better at indicating whether or not something's going to get a good move up. All right, so this trade seems to be going well already. We're up 27 on it. So let's see what happens with this. Got an order block to contend with here, and this is all on the 1 minute chart, guys, all of it. Okay, so I got that. That lag is killing me, man. Absolutely killing me. My goodness. Okay, so there's one. Next order block is going to be this right here. And all I'm doing, guys, is I'm marking areas that caused strong moves, strong impulsive moves, basically. All right, so that right there, which coincidentally is also a large fair value gap that has not been mitigated. That's going to be a pretty good target right there. That's at 28,238. Big fair value gap there, big fair value gap up here. So this should be fine to go ahead and get started. I still have some of the other order blocks marked from when I originally took these, started trading this morning. Okay, so we're up 35 on the trade. We are now contending with this order block. So Bitcoin has been very, very subjective at moving very in line with a lot of these key moving averages. This lag is killing me, man. Oh my gosh, what is going on? You are killing me. I'm going to refresh this. Figures I'm up like $60 on the trade right now. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, is the lag gone yet? Okay, no more reminders. Leave me alone. All right. All right, that's a little bit better. Going back to the 1 minute. Okay. Now remember, guys, order blocks are single serving use only. Once they are broken, once they are filled, they are no longer valid. All of the liquidity has been taken out of those areas. Now, technically, this order block is still valid. There we go. Now it's broken, no longer valid. Do not trade based on that order block. The next valid order block is going to be there. We're up 112 on the trade. I'm going to go ahead and kill this position now. And we are going to wait for some sort of a pullback. That was a nice trade. That was 91 on that. So that's nice. All right, let me go ahead and close. Let me cancel all these other ones. Sorry to interrupt the analysis of, the targets and everything in order to trade, but my primary job is a trader. Plus, you guys get the benefit of seeing me trade actively, which is great. Yeah. Okay, so Okay, and while we wait for this to make a decision, I'll go ahead and I will show you guys give you the update on the $500 challenge, because if you guys remember in my last video, I told you that I was going to be taking everything out of the trading account all the way down to $500. That was about a week ago, and the account's currently at $979 as of right now, as of that last trade. So that is going pretty well. Today's a big moving day, so it's great when you have those big moves. They really help you build a balance relatively quickly. Okay, so we are getting a bit of a rejection here. The trend is still, make no mistake, guys, the trend is still absolutely down. The bears are without question in control right now. However, I am looking for important areas to get challenged, and with every move to the downside, there is going to be a move to the upside of some sort. The Bitcoin is too balanced of an asset not to get those corrections. It doesn't like to leave those imbalances. Okay. Now here in a minute, I will give you guys. I'm uncomfortable taking a long here because it's so easy to reject there. Let's see. Look at the 5 minute. Okay, so pretty much the entire time that Bitcoin has been falling for the last, let's call it day or so, it has been very good about obeying the 21 exponential moving average on the 15-minute time frame, but it's been even better about obeying the 9 exponential moving average on the 1 hour time frame, just having a ton of difficulty getting above it, and ultimately caused a very powerful move to the downside, which we're on the tail end of right now. This right here is the annual support, right at about 28,003. So it's actually a pretty nasty spot to fall underneath, because it's simultaneously the annual support, but it's also the $28,000 level, which is an extremely psychologically significant level. I have a feeling that's going to push down, actually. So I may end up going short on this one. Let's take a look. That's a nice rejection off a key area. This fair value gap has been mitigated. Let's see what it does, because eventually this is going to run out of steam. I can see that the 1 minute relative strength indexes just broke the overbought. And generally speaking, for the entire dump, every time it has come up to this level, it has reversed. Now, I'm not going to jump into this trade short for any significant amount of money, though, until I see some level of confirmation that this is going to move down, because there are too many fair value gaps here on the 1 minute that have not been mitigated in order to pull that price down and get continuation to the upside. Particularly, what's causing me to have a lot of hesitation here is these long wicks right here on these candles. That shows a lot of buying pressure and a solid buy wall here at about 27.7. And I say solid, but it's a 1 minute time frame. I mean, Bitcoin can get some legs and push straight down underneath it. No problem at all. Now, conversely, there is a lot of bearish fair value gaps to the upside here. A lot of unmitigated order blocks. Pretty much every single one of these blue order blocks that you see here is unmitigated, meaning that the price has not returned to them in order to take the liquidity from the top of that. So this is one of those moments that you really have to wait. As tempting as it is to trade with the trend here and take another short position, I don't think I can justify doing it just yet. We need to take out some very important order blocks to the downside. Let me switch to a 5 minute chart and see if there's any that are just easily identifiable. Right here is absolutely one. And obviously that basically double bottom right here is another one. So I'm sizing those up. There's a lot of fair value gaps here, and that 21 exponential on the 5 minute chart has been very good about short-term corrections. So taking a trade on that support line is so dangerous. So I am definitely going to wait a second. Now, the 5-minute absolutely buried itself at 12. Let me look at the hourly, man. Like that hourly. Wow, the hourly RSI is the lowest I think it's been since February. So that's at 12.7 on the relative strength index. Wow. What about the 4 hour? It's got to be buried too. Oh, yeah, that 4 hours buried at 1180. Good God. When's the last time it was that low? 1180? 1112, actually. When's the last time it was that buried? Well, not since at least June. Let's see. I mean, it's not even in early June. It still didn't get there. Wow, when was the last time it was that buried? May. I have this weird feeling like the last time the RSI was this buried was the cycle bottom. So there's a connection point right there. Okay, March. So the last time it was this buried, what do you want to bet that right there, probably right here, is the bounce that happened in March on that annual support? What do you want to bet? That should be at about like 17 or 18,000, I think. Let's see. I'm going to have to really drag this. Almost there. I promise. We are almost there. Come on. You can do it. I could shrink the screen, but I want you guys to see it. Yep. Right there. That was the low. Wow, that's when we retested 19,500. So the last time the 4 hour RSI was this buried, was buried down to this level, was at the swing low retest of the annual support in March. Wow. Okay, good to know. All right. So let me get back there. So now that tells me that we are very close to a bottom. Because, I mean, the RSI, it actually in March got down to about 9.9 or so, I just saw. So I'd be looking for the price, wherever it may be. It would be nice if it, there we go. Sorry. There we go. Sorry about that. So, yeah, okay, yeah, look. Am I in a long? Did I close my long? I did close my long. That is extremely good structure. That is almost assuredly going to get a push, so I'm going to go ahead and take a trade here. Yeah, that's going to move up. All right, so we're in that. All right. Wow. Stop. Where? That's the 1 minute. This is going to have to be a really quick trade because I do not want this hanging out too long at such an important area. Too easy to get rejected here. Do I have any support on other time frames? I got the 5 minute there. Oh. Did I get tricked? There's a fair value gap there. I don't know if I like this one. 0.86 Bitcoins. 27.6 is the liquidation. Well, there's no chance that I'm letting it get that low. Okay, really looking for a nice bounce here on the long position. This could be really important, actually, because we have gotten back above that annual support as of right now. So A very powerful rally could happen here. I don't like that. That's rolling over. That is a failure to set a higher high. I'm going to absolutely mitigate this one because I think that there is a really strong chance that that's going to pull back to here. And I am not eating a huge loss right now. No, thank you. I have had too good a day already. Looking for that support right there. And honestly, so here's the order block on the 1 minute time frame that I'm trying to use. Pardon me. I don't like seeing that. Watching the order book very, very closely. I might actually just dump this right now. Wow. All right. If that sets a higher low, I'll feel much better. But if that smokes that, I mean, I'm not even going to get a chance to cancel it anyway. So my stop loss is right there underneath the order block. So if the order block fails, it's going to push down anyway. So it'll go ahead and stop it. It'll be about a $55 loss or so. And I believe it will smoke that. There it is. Bang, get them out of here. All right, that is a lower high. Really looked like it was going to get that continuation. Nice fake out. Thanks a lot, Bitcoin. Just rolling my ankles over here. Appreciate it. All right, get that out of here. That order block smoked. This one held. All kinds of fair value gaps to the downside. Energy is certainly, or sentiment is certainly bearish right now. I'm looking for the retest here. Probably not going to get it, though. Looking for these order blocks to get challenged. That's going to be about a $200 move right there. I mean, that's no joke. All right, so that one's there. 159. That's 2 to 1 right there. Wow. Really going to be looking for that stutter to be happening right at that previous swing high. Right about, or I'm sorry, right here on the 9 exponential. If I don't get that, I think I might want to go a little smaller on this one. I definitely want to go smaller on this one. I will take the trade if we can get through that right there. No, I won't because there's an order block that is right here. That is concerning. So if we can get through that, because this could just be a move to fill the fair value gap here. So I will wait until it's clear that we're going to take this out. It's way too easy for Bitcoin to get a push, particularly because it's extremely overextended. That RSI is making me want to jump right in this. Wow, actually, I haven't seen the RSI do that. Or I haven't seen it come up and double top like that and not push down back to the downside. All right, we're going to go ahead and take this one. There we go. Got a pretty good entry on that. Testing that order block right before it failed, too. Outstanding. All right. 28.1. What do I want to do here? 28.115. All right, we'll do that. Okay. This order block looks like it's going to break. It got tested right at the bottom. I mean, otherwise it's going to be, I mean, technically this order block is still valid until you get a move down below it. So for now, that order, I'm still at a high risk on this trade. I mean, every trade is high risk. I mean, please show me a trade that is not high risk. Okay, so as of right now, my stop loss is here above this liquidity. And I am looking for the bears to step in here and push that price down. My guess is that if it does break, it's going to be pretty violent. So my target is actually going to be down here, right at about 288, 290 or so. Looking for that retest. I do not want to see a higher low get put in right now. That's just no es bueno. All right. There's also an additional order block here. The order block it's contending with now. There's no way that holds. No way. 13 seconds left. 2 rejections. Wow, it might. Nah, that's going to break. Even if it doesn't do it on this candle, it'll do it on the next one. Oh, yeah, that's definitely going to break. No shot. Maybe one more reattempt, and then, but there's no way that that holds. There it is. There's the break. That's smoked. So now I'm sizing that up right there. And so is every Bitcoin bear on the entire planet right now. Let's go. Every time I take a trade that I think, that I have a pretty clear target on, I always want to, I always say to myself, I wish I would have gone bigger. But you know what? I don't wish that I had gone bigger, because this is such a dangerous area to be taking trades at all that I'm grateful, excuse me, that I was able to get in where I did. I think I have a pretty good entry here. I do have a 1 minute order block here, protecting me to the upside a little bit. But I am looking for that continuation down. I can see that the 9 exponential moving average and the 21 are both starting to angle down and come together and converge. That is a death cross. That is exactly what I want to see. Okay, so there's a move to 27,930. We are starting to get that continuation down. I'm up about 28, 29 on the trade. You can see that down here. I'll do my best to keep that open, or keep that in view for you guys, because I really want you to be able to see that, because it's part of my decision-making process. Okay. I wish that I would have gone bigger, but it's too choppy. Now, if I do end up getting down here, I mean, there's almost no chance that I don't close the trade prior to that. But in the event that I do, for some reason, like it's just really, really violent, at that point, I will actually drag my stop loss down. But when Bitcoin is moving like this, guys, like I'm not even really messing with that. I'm just straight up closing it with market orders, just because it's so violent. Like, I will bring this down just in case of a quick bounce. Because I really want to mitigate as much of this as possible. We're up 44 on the trade right now. Okay, still getting that pressure down. Time frame is 1 minute chart. We're up 46. I'm looking for some sort of, there's probably going to be some sort of an interaction there on that order block. You can already see the price kind of hesitating. I'm looking at the order book, and it's kind of starting to flip-flop between bulls and bears. I may actually just go ahead and take this one here. I am. Yep, go ahead and close that position. Man, that lag is killing me and costing me a lot of money, because that should have been about a $50 trade right there. But that lag is killing me, man. It's because I'm recording while I'm doing it, and it's actually messing with my execution ability, but that's okay. So that was for $34. Okay, not terrible. All right, so now that is starting to bounce back down, I will start looking for additional short opportunities. Ideally, I want it to retest that 9 exponential and then start making its way back down before I take this trade. But if it does take out this swing low here, there's a very good very high probability that is going to continue to the downside. So I have my order ready to go. And again, guys, I'm using market orders just because the market is so volatile right now. All right, I'm taking that short. Okay, that is technically a bearish break of structure. Looking for that order block to go ahead and fold. I don't think that it. I mean, it was only there for 2 minutes, so I don't really see that being potentially strong. However, what I will bring to your guys' attention, when you are trying to figure out if something is going to move to the downside or get continuation to the upside, pay attention to the golden pocket, okay? That golden pocket right here, sorry. If that price comes down to that golden pocket right there, you guys can all see that, right? If that price comes down to this golden pocket and gets supported and starts moving back this way, there is a very high probability that that trend has reversed and it's going to continue to the upside, okay? Now, if this comes down to the golden pocket and fails, it is a very, very high possibility that the downtrend would continue at that point. So ideally, that's what I want to see happen right now. I want that golden pocket to get knocked out, which is pretty much right at this order block. So there's no need for me to have this here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. It's clogging up my chart, and I like a clean chart. Pardon me. All right, so I'm just getting a safety net in place right there below that order block, just in case I'm wrong here. But I actually don't think I am. I think that we're probably going to start getting this move down. And I'm going to start sizing up 27K, actually, because at 27,000, basically 27,050, that is the bottom of that second fair value gap that I told you about, which we are currently trading inside of, if you remember. Yeah, so 27,083 is going to be the bottom of that. So remember, guys, I'm actually not going to mark the whole, like I'll put it here just for now so you can see it. We are inside, again, of that fair value gap that was created in mid-June on the initial rally up past 30K. Okay, so that's what we're trading inside of right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to leave this on here, but I am going to bring down that opacity in a big way. Okay, so 27,074. That is the target. That is one hell of a target, too. If it comes down to here, that is a closing of the fair value gap. And that is a big deal. That is getting supported. That is getting supported as of right now on that inverse golden pocket. So I am looking for some sort of protection here. And I don't really have a choice but to use the order block that already held, which would be a pretty nasty loss, actually. That'd be about a $200 L, which I really don't want to see happen. Obviously, I'd rather make $200 than lose $200. But what I'm not going to do, and this is something that I've had to come to terms with, you guys are going to feel, as I have, that you're being stop-loss hunted. Not every strategy works for every market condition. This is a very important aspect of trading that took me way too long to figure out, okay? You can't trade a choppy market the same way that you trade a bullish or a hyper bullish or a hyper bearish market. You can't. You will get destroyed. You will get stopped over and over and over again. So it's important to develop at least two strategies that help you negotiate those two types of markets, because that's really what you're going to find. You're going to find that 80% of your trading is occurring during just straight, boring, horrible chop. And the other 20% is going to be during very, very violent moves. So you need a strategy for both. So why am I willing to take a $200 L here? Well, of course, I don't want to. I don't want to take a $200 loss. However, I would rather take one $200 loss in one trade than take 4 or 5 $50 losses through the course of 5 or 6 trades. Number one, for fees, and number two, I would rather have my stop loss up here at an area that makes sense for it. You know what I mean? This right here is that annual support, which we just failed to get supported on. I mean, this one's going to be a sweat, no doubt about it. This is going to be an absolute sweat. I mean, look at the 1 minute. So I need this order block to hold, and I need this one to continue to hold, or it's going to pretty much eliminate about 60% of the gains that I've had this morning, which sucks. I am very close to just straight up closing this trade. Where is the 15 minute? 15 minute is what it was rejected on before. This is a bad spot, actually, because I got a big fair value gap to the upside right here on the 15-minute chart. And, that market is extremely overextended to the downside. So I basically need one more miracle push here, or I'm going to get absolutely annihilated. But I promised you guys the good, the bad, and sometimes, yes, the very ugly. This could be very, very ugly. Oh boy. And you guys get a front row seat. Want to watch me go on tilt? Hopefully all we're getting is just a fair value gap getting mitigated here, and then we get our continuation. But as of right now, this order block to the downside has held. This is the first time this order block has been tested on the 1 minute. So let's go ahead and hopefully this will get rejected here and get a strong move to the downside. I can see that the bears are starting to step in on the order book. Let's see if I can find a way to show that to you guys, actually. I would like for you to be able to see the order book. Yeah, I can, actually. Just real quick, I'm going to look at the order book. Check this out. I can see this is what I'm watching for. So I got it on a $1 interval, right? I want to see the bear number be big right now. Really big, substantially bigger. And I want to start seeing that correlate with the price dropping. So that's what I'm wanting. When I say I'm looking at the order book, this is what I'm looking at. All right, so let me go ahead and switch back. Okay, back to the chart. All right, we are testing that extremely important 9 and 21 exponential moving average on that 1 minute chart. Now, I do have a fair value gap to the downside here, but it's very, very small, almost inconsequential. I have a much larger one up here that I'm way more concerned about, and an even bigger one up here that I am even more concerned about. Oh boy. It's going to get sketchy. So I'm looking to the RSI to help me here, because I can see that we did top here, excuse me, and then we did push back down to the bottom of that RSI channel, and we're about a little more than halfway now, which means this needs to come up and will likely challenge at least the top of this order block. But in my opinion, it's probably going to get back to here, or maybe, it might even blast right through there and hit my stop. I mean, that's entirely possible. I mean, these bulls have been getting destroyed for the last 48 hours, and they are anxious. They are waiting to jump into this price, to jump into this market and destroy. You give the bears a little payback. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Oh boy. Oh man, I really want to see this hold. Where's the 3 minute at? We're above the 3, the 21 and the 9 on the 3 minute. So I mean, I really need, number one, I want that annual support to now act as resistance, at least for this trade, guys. I know a lot of you guys are long, but at least for this trade, all right? Just let me make a couple $100 more to the downside, and then I will long the living crap out of Bitcoin for a big upside move, which I anticipate is probably in our immediate future. Now, to that, I will say, when we hit this trend line, the annual support trend line, when we hit that in both March and in June, we hung out around it for anywhere from a week to, I think we did like 16 days. Or no, I'm sorry. I think it was about 3 or 4 days in June, and then but in March it was 9 days. So about a week down at that range. If we do not get a bounce immediately, then I think that we will probably chop around in the 27.5 to 28.5 range for a few days. But right now, everyone's very excited. I guarantee you this, everyone on Earth that has anything to do with finance is watching this chart right now. And we are all on pins and needles. What in the world is Bitcoin going to do? Really, really looking for this 5-minute 21 exponential moving average and the $28,000 range and the annual support to all be resistance right now. Right now. Do not want to take a $200 L right now because I am having such a good day. I'm telling you, it's always the last trade too, guys. Oh boy, that's not good. Where's the 15-minute at? That's really my only hope, honestly. That order block and the 15-minute exponential. But after a big move like that, anything is possible. That could push right now to 28.6 and just absolutely annihilate me. I mean, there's a huge fair value gap right here that did not get mitigated. And this looks like it wants to set up a move to that. Whew, boy. I'm very close to just killing this trade. That order block smoked. I'm very close to just ending this one. Because I do not want a $200 loss right now. If that breaks that moving average, I'm out. I don't care. Because it's too easy for that to just wick up real quick and annihilate me. Do I have any help on the 5-minute? Yes, I do, actually. Right there. Okay, so I have a couple of order blocks here that are kind of overlapping that could act as resistance. Man, really hoping that 21 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart holds. Man, I have never wanted anything more in my life. Here comes the retest. If Bitcoin fails to set a higher high right now, I have no doubt that it is going to push straight past this bottom here. Like, this is it. What's crazy is we haven't even had a change of character. Or, yeah, we haven't had the change of character. That doesn't occur until actually right here. Because this is the swing high that created that swing low there. That like sell side liquidity sweep right there. Man, this is gross. This is a gross trade. Oh boy. I was ready to make a nice video for you guys. Something that, hey, look how much money he's making. That's awesome. Great job. No, instead, oh my God, man. By the time I know if this is going to do what I need it to do, it's going to be too late for me to stop it. I don't have a choice. I have to let it ride. That sucks. I'm living on a prayer at this point. That 5-minute candle's about to close right there. Got 20 seconds for that to get below, to stay below this, which I don't think it's going to. Got 15 seconds to get back below this trend line. Oh boy. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. What's the 1 minute looking like? No retests of the 9 exponential on the 1 minute. That's actually really good for me. So there's a 1 minute order block here. Can you see that? Need this little, just this stupid little order block right here. Need that to get smoked. Okay, so there's the test. I need that to break. Oh my God, if that holds, I'm in so much trouble. Come on. Push. All right, so at least that broke, but it doesn't mean anything until the 9 exponential gets broken. Oh my God, man. So what does that look like on the 5 minute? A decent rejection. Okay. What about the 15? Did that bring the 15 down? Okay, I mean, this is what it's had a hard time getting above the entire time, is that 9 exponential on the 15-minute time frame during these really powerful moves that has almost always acted as resistance. It happened here, and hopefully it will happen here and save my ass, because I am really not trying to take a $200 L right now. Let's see. Will that wick up? Probably not. I have to reduce this a little. I have to. It's too much. Oh, God. I know it doesn't look like much, but that's about $100 range right there. So just from where the price currently is and where my stop loss is. Like, this is gross. Like, this is about, they say a good trade is a hard trade, but man, I am so sick of sweating, man. Okay, that is trying to get supported on the 9 exponential in the 5-minute time frame. That's the first retest of that since being broken, really. Oh, wait, no, we failed here. So I got basically 3 minutes to midnight. Oh, my God, man. What did you do last time? You were coming off this one. You went there. So that stands to reason that you'll go there. I can't keep it there. I gotta have it here. I have to. I can't knowingly put my stop loss in risk like that. All I can do here is hopefully I'll get a rejection off one of these 2 wicks. Other than that, it's a sweat. Got 2 minutes left in this candle. We closed an hourly candle about 15 minutes ago. Was that? Oh, that would be why. Very indecisive candle right there. That's what you generally see before you get reversal. Damn. Boy, I tell you what, I need that freaking annual support just to act as resistance just for a little bit. Just need one more big push down. Just one more, I think. Because remember, we are just barely inside of the larger daily fair value gap created in June. So in order to close that, or in my opinion, to fully mitigate it, it would have to come to 27.9 or 27,100 basically in order to fully mitigate that fair value gap. I mean, that's a big move. I mean, that's an $800 move from my entry. So that's a $970 or a $900 move from its current price, almost to the dollar. Boy, I want to get below the 9 exponential on the 15-minute chart. Oh, we are. Never mind. I'm sorry. I mean, on the 5-minute chart. Here comes that retest right now. I got 45 seconds to set a lower low. Or your boy's going to get smoked. 72 right now. Man. What I could do is I could reduce my position by half right now. So at this point, I'm starting to run through ideas of how I can kind of take the heat off this a little bit and what I could do. Because I don't want to just automatically realize right now it's a $70 loss. But if I realize a $35 loss right now, which is 50% of my position, then if it does push back up to here, it won't be nearly as bad. It should be about I think like $100 loss. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close 50% of this because I just think it's way too easy for that to get supported and blast off through there, which means I need to change that 28,092. I need to update that order because that order was originally for 0.84 Bitcoins. So now this one is for 42. So yes, I did just realize some loss, $40 right there. However, 28,092. So instead of being a $200 loss, it would end up being about a $120 loss, which is, I mean, it's not great. I mean, it hurts. However, if it doesn't get hit, I may be able to add back into this position in order to recover that. It's called averaging down, by the way, and that's a horrible idea. Just looking at my order history real quick. So that was 36. What was the price? Filled price was 27,970. So we're at 27,990. If I were to buy back in for that same amount, about 0.42 Bitcoins, if I was able to do it before we hit 27,970, then it actually wouldn't even be a loss hardly at all, as long as it recovered back to my entry here. Interesting. Okay. That's a gross one. That's a gross trade right there. I don't like that. I'm actually considering reducing it again. Ah, man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I think I have to. I might want to hurry up. Oh my God, I don't know if I want to do that. If it breaks that, I don't think I really have a choice. If it breaks that moving average right there. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Bro, this one's got me sweating. This one's got me sweating. I mean, I got a small balance account right now. Taking a $200 L. It's an unacceptable loss. I mean, honestly, this loss right here is unacceptable. But I mean, my only other alternative would be to get rid of my stop loss altogether and just hope that this price comes back down. And that's something that I'm not willing to do right now. Just the setup is too choppy for me to do that. It's too easy for it to just blast off. Man, this is rough. That order book is dancing right now. Flip flop between them all, between them both. Wow. And what I'm considering doing here is reducing my position again by half so that L is not as powerful. All right. But again, I'm not willing to fully close the position yet. So I've realized $72 in loss already just now with that. So 28,092. It'd be an additional 40. Wow, plus fees. No, now I have to wait. If I see some weakness, I can maybe buy back in. And try and negate some of that. I mean, it can happen relatively quickly, too. I mean, well, there's no point in me. I would have to go pretty big to do it, though. Watch, it doesn't even go up there. That has not broken that in a while. All right, I'm putting that there. Because I really don't want to take another $43 on top of my already ridiculous loss. So 28,053. So another 35. I mean, it doesn't even really do anything, to be honest with you. Come on, push down. That was a 5-minute candle close that just happened. And that was above the 21 exponential. I mean, that has every reason to push up right now. Yikes. Are you going to be a confirmed lower low or lower high? Kind of rolling over a little bit? I like that. Go ahead and roll over. Okay, so now I'm going to start looking for order blocks here. I can see one there. Another one down here. And then, of course, I have this one here, but I kind of already have that marked with that, so. I'm going to feel really stupid if that does not go up here at all. Because remember, my original stop loss is 28,095. Now, I will say, if this is a confirmed lower high, which it kind of looks like it's about to be, there is a very strong possibility that Bitcoin will finish its move and start sizing up some of these ranges down here. You know, the 27, I mean, ultimately 27,000, 27,100, right around there, which would be a good opportunity to make up that stupid loss that I just got. That's the biggest loss of the day, without question. Wow. This is the 5-minute chart. And you guys see that I'm using these exponential moving averages in order to, you know, really, they are extremely good indications of sentiment. You know, I don't base all of my trades on them. However, they are outstanding places for your stop. You want as many moving averages as possible between the price and your stop loss whenever possible. You know, and they are really, really good at helping you to determine market sentiment. Now, I don't really care too much about trend lines anymore. That's not really how I trade, but I know a lot of people are watching this chart. So there is a very strong possibility that they are waiting for that trend line to break. And if it does, we can get that move down. All right. Well, there's no point in me having these here anymore. That one I'll keep because it's pretty important. Boy. I mean, ideally, what I really want to happen here, not on this trade, I want to make money on this trade, but after this trade, I want it to get its bounce. I've been expecting Bitcoin to get its bounce when it hit that annual support. And my guess is that it will be a very violent move when it happens. I'm almost assuredly getting stopped here. I mean, how can I not? Look at that RSI. I mean, it was absolutely buried on the 15-minute chart. I mean, that is an extreme. I just don't see how it doesn't get some sort of quick continuation to the upside after that. I mean, right now I hope it doesn't. Right now I hope it pushes down and I'm able to actually add back into this position and try to recover some of those losses because I do not want to eat $72. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but, you know, right now I'm down almost $100 on the trade. And if that stop loss gets triggered, I'm absolutely going to be down about 140 when it's all said and done. And that is way too big of a hit for me to stomach right now. We are on that $28,000 level. Crazy. Crazy day. Even though like I'm getting chopped up on this particular trade right now, these are the types of days where you can make a lot of money. But again, guys, finding a strategy that allows you to have big enough stop losses is going to be the key here. I really, really thought that was going to continue to push down. That's why I took that trade. I mean, I took that way down here too, right after we had an initial little bearish break of structure. That is not correct. Right there. I'm just recharting the trend line, guys, that's all. So where? And I put that there because of these right here. Probably that's going to be better right there. Right there. Okay. So if it breaks that trend line right there and simultaneously breaks this order block, I will probably add to this position. Now, I sold about 0.6 Bitcoin, but I did it up here. So that means in order to fully counteract it, I'll pretty much have to buy or short a Bitcoin, an entire Bitcoin actually, in order to do that. Now I have 0.2 already, so that would be 0.8. Okay, that sounds about right. Okay, starting to try and reject on those moving averages on a 1 minute time frame, hopefully, while simultaneously getting supported on the 3 minute and trading in between the 5 minute moving averages. Still below the 15, 9 exponential. Bulls are trying to step in. Very dangerous. Very, very dangerous place. That trend line is right there, man. It's right there. So at this point, I have a swing high here, a pull down, a failure to make a higher high. It's very close, but it is a failure to set a higher high. Here is the swing high here at 28,030, and it only got to 28,028.3 before it pushed back down. Now, at this point, so far, the bears have failed to set a lower low. And if this gets supported on this trend line or any of these moving averages and comes up here and takes out either one of these swing highs, I'm almost definitely getting stopped. If we take out either one of these swing highs right here, I put my probability of getting stopped at, honestly, 97% at least. Now, if we break this trend, and after we had this push down, we had to reattack a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. But, I mean, these are just intra-pattern peak and trough, like highs and lows. Like, they matter, but they don't matter nearly as much as this swing low right here, because this is a much larger time frame move as opposed to, you know, just going from this area here down. Okay, that is a test of that little short-term trend line right there, trying to get that bullish continuation there. Hopefully the bears are going to step in here. They got about 35 seconds left to keep that candle below those two moving averages. Preferably, if I want to see that come down here. If that takes that out right there, I will absolutely add my position back. And I'm looking for that to happen right. Boy. Right there, I suppose. Yeah, because that'll take out this little bottom area right here. And that's about as good as I can hope for, honestly. So I might as well just mark that like this. But I'm probably not going to get my chance, because that looks like it really wants to push. Choppy, 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 choppy. All right, if that cracks that right there, I'm going to go for it. And hopefully I'll be able to recover some of those losses a little bit. So I already have realized $72 in losses here. So hopefully I will be able to go big enough that at a minimum I can get back to my entry point and erase this right here. That would be ideal. We are trying to trade outside of that trend line, but these are kind of open to interpretation, I guess you could say. Like depending on where you draw it. So, for example, I chose to use this downward wick here because I felt like it connected well here and there. It does connect well there. So I had the trend line a little too high. Okay. Crazy, man. That is a higher low than that. The 1 minute RSI looks like it's trying to push back up. So pretty much what I'm looking for here, guys, is that I need some of these higher time frame moving averages to really do their job and keep this price down. But right now we are just chopping around right at that $28,000 level. I mean, this is the most important area of support for all of Bitcoin, like in no small way. I mean, this has been this red line, this giant fat red line right here. This is the most important support in all of Bitcoin. This is what we have bounced off for over 8 months. Every time we came down to test it. If this fails, it's fireworks. I mean, no matter what, it's going to be fireworks coming off this trend line. I guarantee it. Whether that be a super powerful move to the upside, which I think is more likely, but a failure to get above and get supported on that will be unbelievably bad for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Like in the immediate short term, I think it will push pretty much straight down to, over the course of it, if it genuinely fails, because right now it's just initially testing it. So if this pushes down, let's say to 27,000, that's not necessarily the end of the world, because I have a hard time believing that a trend line that important failing does not warrant some sort of a reattack before getting violent continuation to the downside. So basically what I'm saying is that this little move, I mean, this is, nothing. This is, like an hour and a half worth of consolidation on a trend line. It's nothing. I'm talking about over the course of the next few days. So if Bitcoin fails to get any kind of continuation and separation from this to the upside over the course of the next few days, I would start sizing up about 26,000, 25, and possibly even getting into some of those fair value gaps from March, which would put it somewhere in the neighborhood of about 23K. Now, if that happens, I hope that it does it right now, because that would be amazing, because I would absolutely add to this position and ride that entire thing down. It'd be like a $4,000 or $5,000 trade. But that's wishful thinking, and that's the dreamer in me. There is no shot that happens. No shot. Still down 26 on the trade. I really wish that I could bring this down, but I can't. I basically only have two options here. I can either just close the trade now, realize a $100 L, or I can try to average down and add to this losing position, which is not a good idea usually. It definitely has its place in the trading world, but taking your losses when you get them is a pretty important part of being a trader. like being able to accept your losses even when you don't want to, because some of my worst losses happen when I'm trying to avoid a small loss. So something like, right now, like take this trade for example. Excuse me. There's no part of me that wanted to take a $200 stop loss, but the price pushed up pretty quick and I didn't really have a choice. So that's why I was willing to accept a $200 loss there. And that's a good example. And, what you'll see people do is when the price starts approaching their stop loss, they will grab their stop loss and they will adjust it immediately to a larger deficit. And then their stop loss gets triggered anyways, and they feel stupid for moving their stop loss. So moving your stop loss, if you're going to do it, should be tighter, not looser. The truth is, I should not have gone so large on this trade. But now I'm in the spot, so we'll see what happens. I promise this is going to happen to you, by the way. But we are just, again, we are barely inside of that fair value gap. The top of the fair value gap is 28,235. So we have barely gotten through any of that fair value gap. That's all the way down here. There's a ton of unmitigated gap there that needs to be taken. And are you starting to push back down? Because that would be amazing if you're starting to push back down. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Look at all those order blocks, my goodness. Everywhere. Yeah, this is $100 range right here. So 27,882, and this is 28K. So that's actually like $120 range right there. So even though this is a small 1 minute time frame, that's a pretty substantial range for a 1 minute chart that is this zoomed in. Those moving averages are really starting to condense. I can feel the bulls chomping at the bit. They want to push. They want to buy this. I don't blame them. Extremely indecisive. Oh boy. Okay. This is pretty important little candle right here. Because if it takes out any of these swing highs, I'm not terribly concerned about this one, but I'm definitely concerned about these two. So if that happens, I'm almost assuredly going to get stopped. So I might as well just mark this right here, actually. Okay, looking for those to hold. For that to hold, rather. It's not a good candle for me, I'll tell you that. Attempting to make a bullish break of structure on the 1 minute time frame from this wick here. If it does, it's a pretty good indication that it will challenge this and this. In my opinion, that means that it will almost assuredly break them. Which means, how's that 15-minute look? It's close. That's really close. What I hope happens is I hope that this pushes to here, touches the 9 exponential moving average on the 15-minute, and then smashes down. That was a 5-minute candle close that it just did as well. That's a bad 5-minute candle for me, I'll tell you that. I think I'm definitely going to get my opportunity to see that scenario play out right here. It's probably going to blast right through it. It's been so much selling pressure for, the last 30 hours, 40 hours straight, nothing but selling pressure, I mean, I would be shocked if that did not at least come up to touch the 21 exponential on the 15-minute time frame. Where is the hourly? Probably nowhere near me. Right at the top of the fair value gap. Of course it is. Yuck. Rejection. Ooh, if that pulls down, if this pushes down right now, it's going to grab the tip of this exponential moving average and it's going to bring it right to the connection point, and it's going to look like it came up and touched this and pulled straight back down, which is visually a good sign that I'm going to get some movement back down. Oh boy, sketchy. I'm getting rid of these. Three minutes to go on this. Let's go to the 1 minute. Hopefully I'm starting to see some red candles, man. I hate that I have to zoom all the way in like this. My fate is being decided by Bitcoin at, what, a $40 gap? Yikes. Okay, looking for that right there to break. We're getting a test of this little order block right here. There's a new low. Okay. I can't justify going short yet, though, until I see this do some sort of a reattack and fail to set a higher high. That's step one, though, is it set a lower low than this. Ideally, I would like it to take this swing low right here out. Ideally, I want it taking this right here. That would be actual confirmation that it's going to push down. And if you look at that 15-minute candle, I bet you that wick is just touching that 9 exponential. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's what I wanted to see. Boy, this is going to be close. Break that. Break it. Do it. Do it. Break it. Come on, break it. There's another order block right there below it. That's right. I forgot I had that marked before. And put that back. Break that. And we're going. Sketchy. Do it. Push. Oh, God, please don't hold. Please don't hold. The order book's going crazy right now. Even though the price isn't moving very fast, the order book is going absolutely insane right now. Come on. It should push down. As soon as that green line right there is smoked, I'm going for it. I'm toning that down a little. Oh, God, it's there. That order block smoked, but I need that green line to get smoked too. And then we're going for a ride, ladies and gentlemen. You ready? Bang! Here we go. All right, so I averaged down in a huge way. Huge way. So I need to get this freaking stop loss ready. Sham, wow. Close that short. Oh my gosh. Please don't be a fake out. Please don't be a fake out. Please don't be a fake out. All right. Oh boy. So I was able to average down. I averaged down quite a bit. So we're in this for 1.16 Bitcoin. And this is extremely dangerous, just so everyone's clear. What I just did is extremely dangerous because I would have taken about a $40 loss if my original stop loss had hit just now. But now it's going to be substantially more. So 28,047. So that would be an additional 119. So I'm right back to my $200 L. The reason that I took this trade, that I added to this position, number one is I broke a key area. Even though I just pierced it real quick, I had a nice rejection off an area that off a moving average that has been rejected multiple times. I also have a failure so far to set higher highs. Really need the bears to step in here, though. That's smoked. That is no longer relevant. What is relevant is going to be pretty much my entry. That's not fun. Small fair value gap here. Really, really need to see this blue order block right here get taken. If that happens, I will be a very happy person. Because again, I'm already down $74 on this trade. Let me get a bearish break of structure, which is basically just taking that little swing low right there out. Okay. The bulls are loading up that order book. There's a bearish break of structure. That's nice. We're almost back to my entry. Wish I didn't sell initially, but I had to do some risk management, honestly. All right. I have to bring this down a little bit. Put it there. And that's where it stays. So I'm either going to get this triggered right here. So that's 28,034. Or I'm going to get paid. There is zero middle ground. So that'd be a $104 loss on top of that. So, yeah, that's not fun. Be about $179, basically a $180 loss. Now, it's not even including the fees. So, yeah, it's probably closer to about a $195 loss in the event that that gets triggered. So there's not really any middle ground here. It's I'm either going to really get paid, or I am going to take an absolutely gargantuan loss relative to the size of my trading account. Because remember, I'm grinding this up from 500. I would love to know how you guys are doing with your trading journey, by the way. The whole reason that I decided to do the $500 challenge was because I know that that is probably the amount that most of you are going to be starting with. So if you guys have begun your trading journey or are about to begin that trading journey with a small balance, please leave me a comment and let me know. And let me know what problems you're having. I'm not, I can't guarantee you that I can help you. But I should be able to answer, some of the questions that maybe you haven't been able to ask yet. That is back to my entry. So that's good. That is starting to get some continuation down. It's easy to get excited here. That order block down here. Sorry. This order block here is smoked. I'm now sizing that one up. Is that where I got the bounce? Yep, that's exactly where I got the bounce. Small fair value gap to the downside on the other side of this here. I'm talking about this right here, this area. But we do have a change of character. That did happen, letting me know that the trend has reversed to a certain extent. I will mark that with the little bright blue there. That is the change of character. That is the price failing to set a new high and then coming down and taking out a previous swing low. That is a change of character. We were probably going to get a push back into this fair value gap for one more reattack if it's going, no matter what. I would be very surprised if this just instantly rejected here. That's a big fair value gap, and this was a really important move that just happened, and I don't think the bulls are going to give up that easily. I'm not even close to out of danger here. Not even close. What I can do is I can mitigate this just a little bit more, because I do have a failure to get a continuation here. It's not much, a few dollars, but whatever. That's a few dollars I don't have to make later. Okay, with any luck, this will get rejected on the 9 exponential right here, which would also be resistance, okay, which is good for me on the change of character level. Let me make sure that that's nice and bright so everyone can see that. So now, Smart Money Concepts dictates that what I look for is a bearish break of structure, and that would be there. Bearish break of structure would be taking out this newly formed swing low. The good news is there was no fair value gaps in this range where it moved here. There was no fair value gaps here that it was trying to fill, which means that it was falling not to come back to a fair value gap. It was falling because there was a lack of buying pressure or an excessive amount of selling pressure. What time is that? 150. So we are coming up on a 1 hour and a 2 hour candle close right now. That 2 hour is going to look, actually, what's that 1 hour looking like? Again, it's going to be kind of indecisive. There's the 1 hour moving average right there. It's close. Okay, looking for the rejection on that change of character, looking for that bearish break of structure, and to take out and invalidate and mitigate this order block. Come on, there's a nice fair value gap down here just waiting to get filled. Order book is going absolutely insane right now. I have no idea if that's a good or a bad thing for me. It just means that there's a lot of volume coming, which doesn't surprise me. The last 15 minutes of every hour, you're going to get big moves. Okay, that's a good candle, even though it's small. The continuation is important here. Really want to bring that stop loss down to here, but I can't do it yet. I think I'm just going to leave that there, actually. I mean, there's no logical place for me to bring the stop loss down to just because there's this huge fair value gap here. It's too easy for it to wick up and fill the gap and, trigger my stop loss. So that's as low as I can stomach bringing it at the moment. So there's no point in me even really watching that. What I'm looking for is to get a nice rollover here and a push down. I definitely want this candle to stay red, preferably with a larger body to the downside. There you go. One more little tick down. I'll take it. That's fine. If there was no bottom wick on that, I'm pretty sure it would have pushed straight down to here. Maybe one more reattack of the 9 exponential before pushing down. I don't really care as long as it pushes down. This is a significant rejection too, because remember, at 28,000 is that annual support. And if that turns into resistance right now, I mean, I imagine this is going to be a pretty big move to the downside. God, I am really considering putting the rest in. What am I at? What do I even got left in the tank here? Another 0.4 Bitcoins I could add to the position, and it would still be considered an average down. Oh, too late. It's actually not too late. All right, screw it. Let's go. That didn't take much convincing. Oh, never mind. Hold off. Now I need a rejection on the 9. I'm glad I waited a second. Give me the rejection on the 9 exponential and push back down. Okay, here we go. All right, that got filled, yes. We're at the full amount, 1.55 Bitcoin on this one. Okay, I did not even adjust my entry, actually. So that means I need to adjust this, 28,029.3, oops. 29.3, so sketchy. And of course, you're going to give me a nice sweat right now. It is unclear if I've made the situation better or worse yet, but we're going to find out. Because it was going to be a $100 loss or so right there on top of the 70. So now it should be closer to about like 130, maybe 140, 28,029. 130. Yep. Gross. Averaging down is one of the most dangerous things you can do when you're trading, just so you guys know. Because, yeah, I mean, it'll help you recover some losses, but it's risky, and it will also, if it goes wrong, let's call it 50-50. If half the time it goes wrong, that means that you're doubling your losses, basically. The only thing I could do would be to grab this and bring it down here, but then all I'm doing is increasing the probability that I'm going to get smoked. So the answer is I wait and see what the hell happens. Yikes. Where's the RSI at? This RSI has not bottomed yet. And again, I also have, I mean, that 15-minute moving average, that 15-minute 9 exponential did a great job of being resistance yet again right there. So, I mean, at least I have that going for me. Don't need this anymore. Get that out of here. I'm going to rechart this. Guess I don't really need those up there. They're not going to help me anyways, so that's the one that really matters right now. Day in the life of a trader. Got 1 minute left in this 5-minute candle. Got 1 minute left in this hourly candle. I want to see what that looks like. That's this candle right here. I mean, that looks good for me because that looks like kind of a double top right there. So in 40 seconds, this candle is going to close. I want that candle body to be red, or at a minimum, I want it to be like a tiny little sliver. That's not bad, but I want it below at least this change of character here. Go back to the 1 minute. Got 20 seconds, 15 seconds for that to become a reality. This is about as scary as it gets. Of course. There's the test of the change of character. There's the break of the change of character. Oh my God, a challenge to the previous little swing high here. I got a small order block right here that might give me some protection. That was, and being that we just closed an hourly candle, it's going to get extremely volatile right now. Like, I don't know which direction that's going to go. As of right now, the trend is starting to move to the downside, but we have not really set any significant swing lows yet, and we haven't had the reattack up here to prove that we are not going to set another higher high. Or rather, if it pushes up here, what I would want to happen is a lower high. And that would be the confirmation that the trend has reversed, as long as it continues to, at that point, pushes back down. Conversely, this could be an absolutely gargantuan trade. But I will not let this one run too long. There's no way that I hold this until like 27,000. I'm going to be honest. I will probably dump this at the current swing low because I want out of this trade. I really do. Now, there's all kinds of freaking fair value gaps to the downside that need to get filled. There's one here. There's one here. That order block's getting tested. There's one here. That order block is broken. Here comes the retest. Into the fair value gap we go. That's this area right here. Dude. Like, this is scary. It's also necessary. That would be a textbook fair value gap mitigation, about 60%, 70% of it. I do not want to see that whole thing get closed. I don't. I want it to be rejected right now. That's closed. Mitigated. All right, so that happened. Oops. So now I need, finally, my last level of protection is this order block. I'll give it just a little bit there. But if that breaks that swing high right there, I'm done. So this is going to be a sweat for sure. That's not a fair value gap that I highlighted. That's just this swing high right here. And I'm only putting it that way so that everyone can see that there are multiple order blocks here, actually, that it would have to break. I'll erase them all here in a second, but hopefully I'm erasing them because we get a rejection off of them and push back down. Like, this is the moment, man. Like, if Bitcoin breaks out to the upside right now, this thing is going to rip so hard to the upside. Like, especially if it takes out that swing high right there. Bro, this is a rough one. Boy. I don't know. Where's the 15 minute? Did we break it? Yeah, we're over that 15 minute right now. Oh boy. This is sketchy. This is sketchy. That lag is serious. We are 1 minute away from closing a 5-minute candle, and it's pretty much going to be this right here. That's what it'll look like. Boy, I need that rejection right there so badly. Oh. Oh boy, that's not good. I knew we were going to get a lot of volatility as soon as that hourly candle closed. This will be the first 5-minute candle after that closed. And that's a nasty one. I want a larger top wick on that, and I'm not going to get it. Okay. That top wick right there is about the same size as this top wick and this one. So hopefully this will push down. But I promise you this, support on either one of these moving averages, and I'm smoked. Where's the RSI at? On the 5 minutes, right dead center, which actually isn't too terrible. Please tell me it's all the way to the top on the 1. It is. It is actually in the same area where these rejections happen, so hopefully that means it's going to push down. This is a rough one, man. A good trade is a hard trade. Well, I didn't want it to be this bad. Okay. And this is why averaging down is so dangerous, guys. Like, I've essentially put myself in a position to double my loss. So, yeah, man. Even when it comes down to here, I'm still going to be down about 70 on the trade. So, I didn't have enough capital to go big enough when I entered here, or well, I did. I just didn't do it soon enough. If I would have taken that entry, like I'd added to my position here, for example, then I would be at pretty much break even by the time it came down to this level. But since I did not do that, and I did it much later, I have to wait longer. Okay. As of right now, this is held. Famous last words. As of right now, if this can come down here and set a lower low, then this will be a confirmed lower high, and the trend will have, by definition, reversed. My guess is that this pullback here, after we created this change of character, my guess is that is halfway between the 1 and the 786. That's my guess. Let's see if I'm right. Almost halfway, but yeah. Which is pretty normal, actually. We are below that golden pocket there. That's good. Now, let me see. On this retracement here, I think we're probably right at the bottom of that golden pocket for the inverse. No, that's not it. Sorry. Do not want to get supported there. Man, that's exactly where we were. All right, need that rejection there. I hope you guys can see that. That price is dancing right now. Sham, wow. Really want to see that rejection right there. Two seconds. Flip red. Come on. It's probably going to try and test that one more time. Okay, so basically right here is the top of the golden pocket, and right here is the bottom of the golden pocket. So absolutely critical that we break this order block. Absolutely critical that this little cluster of 1 minute exponential moving averages holds. But I do have some help here. I have the 9 and I have the 21 on the 5 minute. And also, again, as of right now, still got 5 minutes to go in this candle, but as of right now, this has held. That just flipped. Are we through that order block? Man, that lag is killing me. That lag is going to cost me some money. I guarantee it. It's not what I want to see. I do not want to see that order block hold. Did that hold a short-term trend? Not yet, it hasn't. Oh, yeah, it has. Okay. Those need to get broken. Okay, here's the retest. Oh, God, please, please mitigate that order block. Let's go. It's so close. How close it is. Come on. Grab it. No. Sorry. I didn't mean to touch you. 25 seconds left. That should break. Come on. There it is. Nice. Now take this one out. I'm not needy or anything. Take that out. Go ahead. Do it. Send it. If it does it quickly, that's a good sign for me. Breaking this right here would be a bearish break of structure on a much larger time frame. I mean, that is key. We break that, and I'm feeling pretty damn good about this trade. I'll feel even better if this one right here gets smoked, because then it enters a fair value gap. That order block right there looks like it's about to break. Got 30 seconds left. That's a lifetime. Come on. Let's see. Where did I get rejected off? Okay. Well, I got rejected off it. Let me pull this down a little. Because if it sets a higher high than that anyways, I'm done anyhow, so. That's not good. That is not good. Fair value gaps. These are inefficient moves. So what that means is that you can see how powerful the moves are. They're not mitigating themselves on the way back down. That's perfect. That's beautiful. Come on. If it comes anywhere near the bottom of this, it's going to break it. And then that means that I get to size up this final little order block here if that breaks. And that's one big if. 20 seconds left in this candle. Looking for it to get that nice push down. If I end up coming back from this trade, that's going to be unbelievable. Because, I mean, by all rights, this should be a $200 loss. And if I'm able to salvage this trade somehow and actually either negate all of the loss that happened already or actually make a profit of any kind on this trade, I can't even begin to tell you how rare that is. To be able to battle back successfully is very difficult. That cannot set a higher low. That cannot. If it does, well, I don't know what it'll do. I don't know what it'll do. I'm prepared for every outcome at this point. What a wild day. I'm cautiously optimistic about my chances with this trade. A lot needs to... Oh, man, that's step one right there. Okay. That order block is smoked. Come on. Let's go. Step two. Good. Now come down here and challenge this final little order block and give me a really nice bearish break of structure. The best bearish break of structure will be here at 27,874. It is unclear if I will hold the trade past that point. When it starts getting down there, I'm going to have my finger on the sell button, I'll tell you that. Oh, yeah. There you go. Push down. Let's go. Okay. Probably going to get one more reattack before it decides. Yep, there it is. Okay. set a lower low? It's very close. I think it did, actually. You lower? Nope, not yet. You're very, very close, though. Come on. It's a perfect rejection. There's a lower low. Okay. So we should start sizing up basically the bottom of this candle here at 27,948. There's the test. There's the challenge. There's the break. There's back to my entry. And a bounce. Oh, boy. Okay, there's a challenge of the bearish break of structure. There's the break of structure. Oh, my God. Oh. There's the self-mitigation. That is a lower low than the last time we tested this order block. That is good news for me. Sizing this up now. That right there. What's scary is, if I get rid of this for a second, is that was actually that little bounce right there, that quick wick. All that did was mitigate a fair value gap that was right here, just a little tiny one. That's it. Unless you can already consider it mitigated. Oh, never mind. That fair value gap has already been mitigated. Never mind. Need that to reject. We're actually retesting that change of character. I would imagine if we do end up getting continuation to the downside, we are probably going to come to about here, right? My guess to 28K, depending on where the moving averages are. So 28,000 is a super important area here. And the 15-minute moving average is there. I'm so close. Oh, boy. I want to put two of those between it. All right. I guess this is the equivalent of me taking like 4 bad trades in a row. If that stops. I will be done for the day if that stops. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I know that 15-minute moving average was right there at 27,995. So let me see if we've mitigated any other fair value gaps. So we still have this one here. Didn't quite get to the 15-minute, which is right here. Right there. So it didn't quite stop directly at the 15-minute moving average. The last time it tested it, it pushed through it a little bit. So I'm actually expecting most, if not all, of this fair value gap to be mitigated and a retest of that order block right there, which is, again, going to be another nasty, nasty little sweat. Purple for the win. Gross. I mean, they see that 15-minute 9 exponential, and if that pulls down a little bit more, okay, there's the test of it. Now, if this can reject here and pull that down, it's gonna grab the tip of this and connect it right to that wick, and it's gonna look like a super powerful rejection if that can push down, just like that. You see that? But until this candle closes, which is 10 minutes from now, it's going to continue to dance. So, going to need some quick rejection off that. Man, it's so sketchy. It's a great place for that moving average to be, though, is right there at that 28K and also below that annual support. Boy. Really hoping the bears load up here. It's the 1 minute looking like. Please tell me we are at the top here. Almost. That would be a perfect fair value gap mitigation if it rejects here. Absolutely textbook. 50% of the fair value gap here would have gotten filled and then got continuation down. Man, if that happens, that is so bearish and such good news for me. This is a big trade. So could really use this one, I'll tell you that. Let's go. At 28,031 plus 75. 28,031. So it'd be 134. So yeah, it'd be a $200 loss. Probably closer to like 210 actually. I do not want to see a higher high. What I really don't want to see right now is a bullish break of structure. I don't want to see that little swing high that it just created get taken out. I want it to hold, and I want it to do that. That's what I want. Push down through those. Come on. I can't get excited yet because that hasn't even filled all these fair value gaps here, and that's getting supported. Getting this out of here. That's irrelevant. Did the 15-minute 9 exponential save me yet again? Guess we'll find out. Sorry, I don't mean to click the pen right in the microphone like that. Sorry. Okay. I don't want to jump the gun too soon, but that does look like a confirmed lower high. That's a perfect 1 minute candle below all of the exponential moving averages. And it's interacting with that change of character. What I want to see ideally is I want to see a push here to about 27,985 and then it push back down. That will mitigate this fair value gap and not leave it open to be retraced to later. But frankly, I don't care if it mitigates all these fair value gaps on its way down, or if it creates a bunch on its way down. I mean, I fully expect that Bitcoin will recover in the next few days, even if it gets rejected right now and pushes down even to like 25,000, 26,000. So eventually, I have no doubt. I mean, all of these fair value gaps that have not been mitigated are all going to be mitigated in the coming weeks, no matter what. So, okay, that is pretty good. Order book is pretty break even at the moment. Now remember, the overall trend is still down because we're really zoomed in here on a 1 minute chart. The overall trend is down, especially like, the hourly or the 4 hour. So my short, and this is something that you guys are going to have to pay attention to. The trades that make the most sense are the ones that have confluence. And confluence is just a fancy way of saying trades that tell you the same thing or on multiple time frames. The information or the picture that the chart is telling you, the story that the chart is telling you, lines up on multiple time frames. Preferably the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15, the 5, and the 1. If all of those time frames are showing you something is bearish, then it would behoove you to take short positions at moments like that. Trying to be counterintuitive and time a reversal is extremely difficult to do. You want to trade with the trend. And while I wait for this, I know a lot of you are scouring the internet, scouring YouTube to find something that's going to help you trade. And I guarantee you, if you haven't seen it already, you are going to encounter somebody who is going to, talk about, you know, support and resistance patterns, like, ascending triangles and symmetrical triangles and bull flags, and it'll break to here, and as soon as you get here you take your entry and you're going to make money when it does that. Like, honestly, guys, it's good to know what those patterns are, but if I promise you, if you trade that way and you only use support and resistant chart patterns like that, you're going to get destroyed. So be very careful with that. If you are just starting out, eventually you will figure out that number one, that what I just said is true, and number two, instead of worrying about what kind of arbitrary shape is being formed on your chart, you should be paying attention to trends. And if you learn how to interpret trends and trade with them, you are going to be light years ahead of 95% of traders that are using just the chart pattern recognition, like the ascending triangles and the ascending scallops and the head and shoulders reversals and things like that. Pay attention to the trends. You care about higher highs and higher lows, and you care about lower lows and lower highs. That's what you care about. Like, learn to identify those. If you're able to do that, then it will drastically help your game. Okay. It's not enough to just set this lower low here, or the lower high here. I need a lower low, particularly because I just had a bearish break of structure here from this little previous swing low. So if I don't get continuation, then that means that's just grabbing some liquidity real quick so that it can push up. That's weak right there. I'm actually pretty surprised that that did not just push straight down, but I guess we needed to go ahead and confirm that we were going to set a lower high. This right here makes me feel a lot better about this trade. That good feeling will be gone if we do not take this out right now. Like, if this just reverses right now and comes up here, there is a very small chance that that does not break that. Get rid of this, though. I don't want that there. This is the one that I want to break. Got to do it right now. Well, we got to do it before we get a reattack to the upside. Even if it comes down here and just sets a slightly lower low at like 27.9, 28, something like that, I would even be okay with it coming up and reattacking and filling that. That type of move, that makes sense. But if this does not set a lower low, then that would be, excuse me, essentially kind of like a triple bottom. And if it doesn't set a lower low, then that means the right hand side of that triple bottom is going to be smaller than this one here, which shows a lot of strength for the bulls. So hopefully I don't have to worry about that, and Bitcoin will take care of this for me and set a lower low right now. And hopefully this time get some continuation down to challenge this final little order block right here. Well, I don't want to say the final order block, but a very important order block. Here comes the test of the previous swing low. technically, I'm in unrealized, I'm up on the trade. So only only 60 more dollars to 65, 67 more dollars to go before I'm break even on the trade. So Bitcoin's got to move like, I don't know, like another like $50 or something like that. Actually, no, it's got to move another $30 after that. So that is a much stronger bearish break of structure. Okay. Retest the 9 exponential right here. And then reject on this little pathetic little order block right there. And then kindly escort yourself to the downside. Thank you. Dude, I'm going to be so mad if this trade doesn't go my way because I've already spent about an hour and a half or 2 hours on this trade. Pretty much however long this video is. Yeah, so we're going on 2 hours right now, so. Okay. Didn't quite get a test of the 9 exponential there. It still might. I think it needs to before it'll push down. We've re-entered this small little order block. There's the retest, and if that pulls down, it's going to grab that moving average and make it touch, which is nice. This will absolutely be my last trade of the day, no matter what. No matter what happens. I've already been trading way too much today. But big mover day. Definitely worth it. I mean, it was a great day. Even if I get stopped on this trade, it's still a good day. I mean, I almost doubled the size of the account today, so you know, still I don't want to give it all back. So far I haven't really given that much back. That 75 I think is the worst L that I've had so far today. I don't think I've had one bigger than that. Okay, really looking for the push down here. Got a nice rejection on the 9 exponential and this one little order block here. Looking for an additional bearish break of structure on this right here. And that doesn't need to be that big. Put it like that. And there's the bearish break of structure with a test of this order block over here. So that's what I'm looking for. I need that to break. So my unrealized is at $33 right now. My realized is $75. So I need about another $20 move to the downside for Bitcoin in order to wipe out this loss. But the trend is way down. That order block is smoked. Okay, we are inside of that fair value gap right there. It's very close. 27.9 will erase that. That doesn't seem right, actually. If I close the trade right now, I will only take a $30 loss. If I close it right now, well, actually, $50 right there. 51. I mean, it's tough for me to do that because, I mean, my trade, the trend is clearly reversed and is starting to push down. So it would be pretty silly of me, after holding so close to being ruined, to let go of the trade now. This fair value gap is fully mitigated. But I don't really care too much about that. I care much more about this order block right here. That, if that gets taken out, that is the swing low that needs to be targeted. I mean, I have a really hard time believing that we don't at least test it, but that is the most important swing low. Because here is the swing high of this little pattern right here, right here. And that was the swing low that followed it. We then failed to set a higher high than this and are now pushing down. This will be breaking this level will be the ultimate confirmation that this trend is going to continue, at least to challenge 27.7, which, I mean, at 27.7, I mean, my position is large enough that even just right here where it currently is an unrealized profit of 52. So a push down to here should be about $350 or $400 or so, which is one hell of a nice trade considering I started today with I think a $620 balance or something like that. Maybe $670, something like that. And I've almost got it to 1,000. We're almost there. If I were to sell right now, I'd be at 935. Oh God, this is such a sketchy part. So I have my finger on the sell button. I'm up. Well, I'm not up, but my unrealized is at 60. So if I sold now, I would only have a $20 loss or so. Which is incredible. Wow, that broke. That broke. That's smoked. You're smoked. Get him out of here. Wow, I'm actually profitable on the trade right now. Oh, yeah, that's going to push, man. This is the final little order block here and then a fair value gap. That's a lower low. I have a really hard time believing you do anything other than confirm on the 9 exponential and then push your ass down. Let's go. This could be a huge trade. No matter what, this one is making the highlight reel. No matter what. That's not a good candle for me, though. Looking to get rejected on that 9 exponential, like always. I want to keep that trend going. You see, ever since we fell below it here, we got rejected there, and hopefully now we will also get rejected there. I do not want to see a higher low on this candle. We must get that continuation to the downside. We have to have an additional bearish break of structure right there. That's what needs to happen. And then this order block needs to get mitigated. If it does, it's coming straight into this order block at 27,785, right around there. I do not want a higher low here. At least no bottom wick, because it doesn't look like I'm going to get there on this candle, but at least no bottom wick. Okay, not terrible. Maybe one more retest of the 9 exponential. Hopefully not. Hopefully it just straight up pushes down. Let's go. I am absolutely mitigating my loss here. I am bringing that right there. I cannot believe I was able to do that. Which means that if that goes up there and gets stopped, I'll only end up losing the 75 I lost, plus whatever that ends up being. But if that starts approaching... Boy, I actually don't know. Because right now, if I sell right now, I make a $10 profit. But I just broke the most important swing low of this whole pattern. I don't see how I can justify getting out of the trade. Okay, we're unrealized is at about 96. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, man. I have such a... If this pushes down, I have such a great entry Like, it's so good. It would be very well protected. And I would be able to potentially ride this down to 27K from where it currently is. And with the size of my position, I mean that's about $1,500. So I started last week with 500. So that would be, that's a 4x on the account in one trade. Which, I mean, there's no way I'm holding this that long. No way. I do not want to see a higher low here. What do I got up here? I got mitigate. What I got? I got a couple fair value gaps to the upside. I have a fair value gap up there. There is a lot of reasons for this to go back up. I'm really considering selling this, taking the $25 loss because I'm only at 53 unrealized. If we close this 1 minute candle over the 9 exponential here, I will sell, take whatever small loss that ends up being, and then re-enter. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to me at the last second. Did that get above it? Man, it did, but barely. Wow. Right at 27,906. I don't like this wick here. Oh, you son of a gun. Boy. No retest? No retest? Okay. No retest of the bearish break of structure that just happened before a full-blown rejection? Or at least coming down to this order block? Nothing, huh? Come on. I don't buy it. Gotta be a retest here. A lot of volume. A lot of movement in that order book. It's bear heavy right now. Come on, close below that exponential. No bottom wick. That's a good candle for me. Now retest the 9 exponential and dump. Or just dump. That's fine too. I'm absolutely okay with that. 73. Selling now incurs a $2 loss. I promise you that if I do sell, I will not have the guts to go this big again. I only went this big so that I can average down. But this trend, oh my God, it's so... Oh man, I'm flip-flopping between how I want to handle this because on the one hand, I have the ability to not only get rid of all of my incurred losses right now. There's a retest of the 9. I have my finger on the sell button, which I will do if we take out that swing high right there. a candle like that right there is ideal for me. That's perfect. Push down. Push down. Wow, I got to shrink this down because that might push really hard to the downside. Let me get another bearish break of structure. Smoke that order block you're in right now. Do it. No, wrong way. You're doing it wrong. Go this way. Smoke that order block. 15 seconds left in this candle. I really don't want to see that candle close the way that it is right now. I want to see it. That's better, but ideally I want this red. Oh, I got it at the very last second. I should get one more test to the downside of the order block that it's currently in. Order book is bear heavy. First candle movement is bearish. That usually means that the first substantial move of the candle is going to be to the downside. Okay, there it is. Looking to smoke that order block. Come on. You can do it. There it is. Gone. Okay, so now we have to contend with this order block. And I'm setting up what I am hoping is a bearish break of structure here. Testing of the top of that order block. Looking for that bearish break of structure. I am absolutely bringing this down to like here. Oh, God, I'm not willing to let it go until I get that bearish break of structure, though. Come on. Oh, come on. Smoke the order block. Let's go. I still have my stop loss in hand. Like, I'm not willing to move it yet until I get that bearish break of structure and take out that order block. So technically, my stop loss is still up in this range. There's the bearish break of structure. Okay, good. So I'm up 130 on the trade. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this here, right there for now. And that way, if it pushes back up, I'll only like incur like, I think maybe like a 30, like a 25 or a $20 loss. But if this pushes down really, really hard, I might have a really nice opportunity. I mean, I'm up 130 on the trade right now, minus the 75. So what is that, like 85 or something like that? I don't even know. Despite popular belief, I'm not very good at math. Mental math, anyways. Let me just get the sell ready to go, actually. If I see that starting to reverse, I can just sell it. There's no reason for me to let that trigger order hit it. I can just sell it. So we're up 131 on the trade. We are testing the bottom of that order block. The bearish break of structure doesn't mean anything until we get this. Until this order block gets destroyed. Which, oh my gosh. That's 104 right there. We're still in a profit. If it gets back to $80, I will sell it. And that will neutralize my loss, which was the entire reason that I did this, and then I will simply re-enter. So we're at 89, $9 away. Looking for that rejection there. 89.3. 80.3. All right, I'm selling. I closed it. Tried to. Trying to. Oh my god, I didn't select an amount. Are we out of there? We're out of there. So let's see how bad that ended up being. So I was able. I made 5 cents on that trade. Oh my god, that's crazy. Nice. So it was a complete break even. All right. I'm done. I'm done. I managed to avoid a $200 loss that should have destroyed me. And I have no idea what this is going to do at this point. I need to zoom back out on the chart and figure it out. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Market Menace Trading. It was a really, really wild episode today. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys are learning on your own. If you guys have any questions, drop me a comment. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please share the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Remember, profits over wages. Take care.
1, 2.